So hi guys, welcome back to IPL Buck Buck. So yesterday we spoke about four teams, and today we hope to get more in depth with the four other teams, starting with Punjab Kings. Today we're joined with Shiv and Akshat for this initial segment, and we're hoping others might join us later on. So I'll be moderating this event, and we'll initially start by looking at what the playing 11 for the Punjab Kings could look like in this IPL 14. So let's start with Akshat. So, Akshat, going by the list we've presented, I think it's pretty easy to say that many names pick themselves, right?
Yeah, valid point, Han. I think a couple of names at the top of my head that pick themselves are KL, Mohammad Shami leading the attack with the ball, and Nicholas Puran at four. I think these slots are sort of filled in. Considering that they've paid a hefty amount for Jai Richardson, I see him as somebody who's going to partner Shami with the new ball as well as fill in at the depth. They've also spent a chunk of money on the likes of Shah Rukh Khan, who's done exceedingly well as a finisher at the domestic circuit for the last couple of years. So I see these five to sort of be their core. In addition, Mayank had a fantastic season last year around, which put him in the reckoning for the ODI international team. So I see Mayank not in the role as an opener, which I'll explain in a couple of minutes, but as somebody who can bat at number three, right?
Yeah.
Now, coming to the right hand left hand combination, which I feel is crucial for any successful T20 franchise, I think Punjab have it in them to have that right through their batting order. So I would go with KL and open with Gayle. He gets better with every season. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up this season as well and has a fantastic uh, round of innings. I don't know whether he'll keep fit for the 14 games, but even if he plays 7-8 games, I'll alternatively play Malan when Gale sort of isn't in the best of his fitness. At five, I would have either a Deepak Huda or a Mayank or an Utkarsh Singh. Personally, I would like to start with Deepak Huda because he brings that firepower along with him. At six, I would have Shah Rukh Khan. At seven, a lot of people would talk about the role of a Moises Henriques, who's a proven all-rounder in the game. But I would personally have a little bit of a left field selection with Fabian Allen. He's now somebody who plays throughout the year in most of the T20 competitions, and he's making a name for himself to be one of the most dangerous number sevens in T20 cricket. So I'd have Allen at seven. I would have Jai Richardson, who bats pretty well. When Australia toured India last time around in the ODI series, I think he got a 50 batting at eight. So he's pretty good. Shami at nine. Ravi Bishnoi at 10. And I think Arshdeep had a great breakout season last year and he offers something different because he's a left arm quick who swings it both ways. So I'd have Arshdeep at number 11 to complete the team. On spin friendly wickets, I'd probably drop an Arshdeep and play a Jalat Saxena, who's against somebody who's been around domestic cricket for years and done brilliantly with ball and bat as well. So he's an
And Anil Kumble seems to be a huge fan of his, considering he's continuously spoken about the talent he possesses.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, coming to Shiv. So, as you can see, the 11 looks very strong on paper, but looking at the depth, do you think there's anyone else who could, really challenge this 11 for a spot? Maybe like a Mandeep Singh, a Sarfaraz Khan, maybe even a Chris Jordan, who's known to be one of the specialists in the death bowling format. A Riley Meredith, who was one of the top buys in the auction. What do you think?
So I think I'll start with Sarfaraz Khan. I think he definitely is an option. I think Sarfaraz Khan would probably come in at 6 or 7. And if he comes in at 7, I think you could look at dropping Harshdeep and then playing Riley in his place. So that is one option according to me. Other than that, Akshat said that you could play Saxena, but I think apart from Saxena, Ashwin is also an option. And Chris
Yeah,
Jordan,
because
again, I'm not sure if he still has it in him. I think he made I don't clearly remember, but I think he made a few mistakes last year, so I'm not sure if they'll consider him.
I think Kahan and Shiv Joel have actually opened the door to another conversation where we can sort of look at Punjab on a track which has a good amount of purchase of the wicket. That is, there's good carry and good bounce. So it'll be pretty fascinating and interesting to see how Richardson, Shami, and Meredith do as a fast bowling battery. It'll be actually quite exciting if we see that happening at all. And I'm confident that they do well given an opportunity together. In that case, I'd probably take someone of the likes of Fabian Allen out of the team, push Richardson to bat at 7, and instead of getting Allen, I would get in a Meredith. So that's a straight out like for like if I move Richardson to bat at number 7. And I think Shiv spoke about a crucial player. He's somebody who a lot of people had a lot of expectations from. He, I think, debuted for RCB at the age of 17 and he got retained as well in the last mega auction. But he's failed to sort of live up to his expectations. However, in the recent years, after changing states, he's gone from Mumbai to, I think, Uttar Pradesh. He's made a name for himself and he is rekindling his career. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes about his IPL season this year.
We've all spoken about, the fast bowling unit, but we've kind of not looked at the alternatives. For an example, Nishan Purel, who's been fantastic for Bengal, Darshan Nalkande. So do you think they could actually really challenge for a spot this season, considering they weren't really looked at last season?
I feel Shami is sort of the kingpin of this bowling lineup, given the fact that he's an experienced Indian fast bowler, along with the fact that he's Indian, right? And you need 7 people, 7 Indians in your. So he's, like I said, the leader of this attack. God forbid, if anything happens to him injury-wise, I think it's going to be a huge, huge blow to Punjab and their chances to qualify. I see an Ishan Purel as somebody who has done well in the domestic circuit, but he's still not a proven commodity in the shorter format. He's done brilliantly in the red ball game and he's started to improve in the 50-over format as well. But his numbers aren't too great in the T20 format and he's also towards the expensive side of things. So getting a Shami, getting an injury blow to their bowling lineup will be severely debilitating, I think, for the team as a whole because they really don't have much of squad depth where their bowling is concerned. Even the spin department, they have someone of the likes of a Murugan Ashwin, but he's very like for like to a Bishnoi. They don't have a quality left-arm spinner who can bowl 4 overs. I see Suchit as somebody who does bowl left-arm spin, but I'm not sure whether he's somebody who gives you 4 overs every game. Similarly, with Jalat Saxena, he's very good with the red ball format and he could be an option with moving forward on spin-friendly wickets, but he's not a bank of 4 overs every game. So I think these are the 2 issues with the bowling department.
Well, I think that addresses all the concerns with the bowling. So now let's move up. Now, every year, I mean, literally every year, people have the same question. Is this the end of Chris Gayle? And he comes up with something miraculous. Be it a century, a stunning catch, stunning fielding effort. He has the automatic entertainment package and people just want to see him. So what do you guys think? Is this the official end of Gayle or are we going to see more of Gayle? Considering now he's competing with the number 1 T20 batsman in the world for a spot.
So at least for me, I think this will be Gayle's last season. We don't know how he's going to perform because he doesn't really play much. I mean, he does play, but I don't think he plays a lot of cricket. I don't think he's played a lot recently. So I think he's 40, 41, and I think this will be his last year. Next year will be the mega auction, and I don't think teams will look to a 40, 41-year-old to be a mainstay in their lineup.
Just to interrupt you there, getting someone like a Chris Gayle for a 2 crore basically guarantees you maybe 300, 400 runs in a season because Chris Gayle is a type of player who will put up that one performance where he'll single-handedly win you a game. Would you still not want to take a risk at a player like Chris Gayle?
I mean,
so
go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So I read this interview of KL Rahul's, I think yesterday, where he mentioned that he spends about 5-6 hours working on his batting if he needs to master his stroke, or even get into that mindset where he's very confident or fearless before an IPL season. But he's mesmerized by the talent Chris Gayle possesses, and the heaps of experience that bags him makes him somebody who could come right out of a party and score 100. I think these were the words that KL Rahul used to describe Gale's performance, and he also told us that he's batting brilliantly in the nets. What's interesting to see is that Gale, after last year's IPL, batted at number 3 in every T20 league he's played. So whether he's going to still be that flexible individual, considering the fact that he's 40, and make that transition from three to an opener smooth is what the real deal or what lies ahead for Punjab.
And he has excelled in the role. I mean, he absolutely changed the team, a team that was absolutely struggling. He came up, he played matches where he single-handedly won them games. He scored a 99 odd against a pretty good Rajasthan attack. So he still definitely got it because this was all just 5 months ago. So I don't I I don't really agree with y'all when y'all say this could be the end of Gale. So I mean that's my personal opinion, and if there's anything else to add, we can go ahead, or we can discuss the middle order issues the team faces.
I mean, I see Gale retiring at the end of the T20 World Cup if West Indies wins the World Cup. If they don't win the World Cup, I don't see him retiring anytime soon. And for him, it's more like a party. He's really enjoying his game. He's 41, 42. He doesn't play too much of international cricket. I know he played the recent series for West Indies. I think it was against New Zealand, if I'm not wrong. So I know he played a recent series for West Indies where he did don their maroon jersey. But besides that, he really enjoys coming to the IPL and showing up. It's really not about the number of games he plays, but just being there. And there are certain names that have made the IPL what it is. MS Dhoni, Chris Gayle, Shane Watson. These are like the blockbuster performers. And it'll be really sad to see Gayle walk away not winning an IPL trophy. So I would rather have him send off or like hang his boots after he's sort of lifted that trophy. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes in the next auction, the number of teams that will be looking for him. Because there's always a demand for a hard-hitting left-handed opening batsman, and there are very few in the modern game.
Well said, sir. Now, Shiv, I think the next question is directed towards you. Looking at this lower middle order, you see that there is domestic talent, but I mean, if you compare it to the title contenders, would you actually say that this is a title-winning middle order?
Title winning middle order. I'm not sure of that. I don't think they are a title winning side. I think they had around 50 crores to spend in the auction, and they bought a good few players, but I think you still, I mean, who does a decent player, but he's not he's not one of the Pandya brothers, all right? Shah Rukh Khan's a decent brother, but he's not one of the Pandya brothers. He's not a Pollard. Even Fabian Allen is not a Pollard. So, I mean, if Shah Rukh doesn't perform, you'll probably bring in a Sarfaraz. So I think there are issues with this middle order, and I just don't think they're good enough.
Yeah, and I
Anything to
think
add to that?
that though we slotted in a Shah Rukh and a Fabian Allen in those 6-7 roles, they've really not played well together. The key to the success of a team like an MI is that they have that same 11 consistently for the last 3 years, and they back those players. So each individual knows their role and knows their role well. Here, it's a little bit of I think a little bit of a confusion, because while you have someone like the likes of Deepak Hooda who's performed for them and he is a proven commodity, he's played the IPL for about 4 or 5 seasons, his role is not, he's not too sure about what his role is. Until a player doesn't know what he's supposed to do for the team, it's very difficult to expect consistent performances day in, day out. So I think that's the issue. It is a middle order with potential, but it is a middle order which is inexperienced and lacks clarity. So that's, I think, another huge drawback of the side.
Okay, then. So now I think we should move on to the last part of this discussion regarding this team. Where do you guys see this team finishing in the league table? And if you see them in the top four, do you see them going all the way?
Shiv, do you want to go first?
I don't see them in the top four. Sixth if they're lucky. Otherwise, I think seventh is a comfortable spot for them. I mean, I think towards the end of last season, they really went on a run of, I think, 5 consecutive victories. But
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced by them, and I think there are better teams out there. So,
Akshat?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with Shiv on the top four. I see a couple of big names on paper, but I don't really see a team there, if it makes sense. I see the likes of a Shami and a KL, a Gale, a Mayank, but I don't know how well they're going to play together. It seems more forced rather than a team. So
Yeah.
I would actually say that they're people who are going to compete with Rajasthan or a Chennai to be the bottom of the table rather than the top half of the table. So, in my opinion, they are the bottom of the table for sure, and it's going to be a toss up between them and CSK and RR for that eighth position.
Okay, then, I mean, that kind of sums up everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching our antics and our banter.